This is another quick getting started video for the JPIC. This time we'll look into a little more detail about how to get used to Qt Creator and how it relates to the JPIC. In the Start menu under Jade you'll find what has been installed in JPIC bootable, MPLab, Qt Creator. You can uninstall it if you want to. User documents and XC16 documents. So we can start Qt Creator, which will bring us into the IDE and the examples menu, the welcome examples, and we'll go back to the Blinky example. Now, what we did not see before was if we click compile output and we build, this is build and this is run. When it's run, it's built and run. So that means build and run, and that just means build. So if we just build it with that there, okay, we've got to go into a bit more detail. It's already been built, so it doesn't have to actually do anything. So if we go to build, clean all, then build, it now actually builds it, rebuilds it again. We could have gone up to build and rebuild, I guess. It would have done the same thing. Yeah, it does the same thing. Either way, we have to rebuild it, and just clicking this, if it's already built, it won't do it. So this is all the commands it uses to build it. Now we see at the end of it how much program memory is used, how much data memory is used, and how much free memory we've used. So the program memory, 3% of the program memory, less than 1% of RAM, and we've still got 16K of RAM left. So that's what I wanted to show you in here, how you can tell how much program space you're using, if you're running out of space or not. You can minimize that again by clicking that, and it'll make it vanish down the bottom, and you can make them come up again by doing that. So that's the first thing. The next thing is what the example actually includes. These are the files that the example uses. If we expand everything, you can see it's using 3 files that it's included. It's using. So the PRO file in Qt Create and QMake projects is very important. The main ones are the PRO file and the main one that's usually called main.c. So if we double click the PRO file, it appears in the open documents, and we get to see what the PRO file is. Most of this is not necessary. The only thing that's necessary is the template is either an application, which is app, or a library, which is lib. The sources are the files you wish to compile, and there are other things like headers, what headers you're using, what libraries you're using, the linker flags and the compiler flags. This file here is just for the bootloader. Without this, there is the risk of writing over the that you can't program it due to it having the same memory address as the bootloader. So this just makes sure that it reserves the space. That's just automatically included when you run when you make a JPIC application. You don't have to worry about including it yourself. Probably a good idea for figuring out how to get comfortable with Qt Creator and Jade and the JPIC is to build an example from scratch. So we'll do that. We'll close all projects and editors. We'll go File, New File or Project. We'll go to Other Projects, JPIC Application, Choose. We will call it something. We'll call it test. I'll call it OLED test. OLED test. So we've called it OLED test. We configure it for the JPIC platform. a JPIC kit, and it's basically the same Hello World application. It just puts that in there just to get you started. So how about we make an application that will print something to the OLED screen, as we have an OLED screen, so we might as well use it. So we can start changing the code. We'll make it something delay for a second, and we'll have a variable there. Now we can go into the PRO file, and we would like to configure it for the OLED screen. So we put configure plus OLED. Now, and we go back to the main, and now that the project is being configured for the OLED screen, we can then include OLED driver. And you notice as I type, Qt Creator gives me suggestions, so I don't have to have a good memory of memorizing how to do things. I know I'm wanting the OLED, so I type O and L, and I can use the mouse keys to cursor keys to scroll up and down for the one I want. Then it says OLED driver, so that include line just says include the header file for the OLED driver. Now what we can do is, if I press Control, my mouse turns into a finger when I go over things I can click on. So if we go over the OLED driver and left click that, it takes you to, first off, that'll take me to the header file of the OLED driver. And at the start it'll give you a usage example. In this case it says you have to initialize it, set some sort of screen wrapping, then you can print something, and then you update the screen. So we'll go back to, I could just copy and paste that, or what I'm going to do is simply type it. I don't by typing OLE. Now it hasn't given me any suggestions, so I can press Control Space and that'll bring up a list of suggestions of what I can type. So I remembered that we have to initialize the OLED screen, so it can see it returns some char and it doesn't take any arguments, so I can just press enter, semicolon, press enter. So I've initialized the OLED screen. Then it did say wrapping, except I do know that there is some sort of default wrapping, I can't remember what. So we scroll down to see all the functions it's got. Set wrapping. So you can see OLED wrapping, OLED wrapping, it takes some function called OLED wrapping. So I don't pretend I don't know what OLED wrappings are. I can press Control, turns my finger into my mouse into a finger, left click it, takes me into here, and now I can see this OLED wrap. So I can again press Control, press OLED wrap, and it gives me all the various OLED wrappings I can do. So I've got wrap the same line, wrap none, wrap next line. So we'll wrap next line, and OLED wrap next line. So we go back to main, OLED wrap wrap next line. There it is. Now we want it to print, say 1, 2, 3 or something on the screen. We can OLED at clear. Well, I know it's going to be printf. So it's printf, and it's the exact same format that printf takes. So I put test and we'll put j, and we will also increase j. So the number j goes test, test whatever number it is and increases it. And the other thing the example usage said is we have to update. So update bool blocking, so it means we can either block it can be a blocking function, or it just does it via interrupts, and we'll just go straight on to the delay. Doesn't really matter in this case, so we'll block it in this case. So it's true. Bool can either be false or true. So we've made a simple printing OLED screen. We've initialized it, set the wrapping, we've printed test, and we've updated, and we've given, I hope I've given a bit of understanding about how you can figure your way through how things are created with the drivers that I've created, that you can find your own way around if you don't remember things by using a lot of control space and control mouse clicking on things. I mean, you can get fancy with this by, say, how does OLED printf work, for example. I can control left click. It takes me to first the header file of what it is, but if I then want to actually know the implementation, I can do the same thing again, and it doesn't. It should have taken me, it's probably, I know why, I had to build it, so I will build it. So click the build. I'm not really interested in running it at the moment. I just wanted to build so it would include the OLED driver.c in there. So now I can go to click control and click there, and it'll take me to the implementation of it. So I can see it's just using the VSN printf to do the magic. So yeah, you can figure out what arguments it takes. It helps you survive on your own without having to remember endless silly functions and what they are. So we'll now run the program. I could have had compile output, and we could have rebuilt the project. Could have seen how much it used, total memory used, 2%, 10% program memory. Alright, so we'll go back to JPIC bootable, and we can burn it. You can see what my mistake is. The \n, the line feed, which is what \n means, doesn't do a carriage return. So that's why the text seems to kind of be offset a bit. I don't actually see that funny flickering effect that you see on the screen. It just looks perfect to me. I don't see any of that. You notice I've still got the protective layer on. You should take that off, I guess, but I don't. So yeah, we're missing the carriage return. So that is R. N is line feed, R is carriage return. \n, \r, and I built it again. JPIC bootable came up, burn it. Now it's working as I would have thought. So sometimes you make mistakes, but yeah, you can fix them.